and welcome to the Gary Goff Show here on the Tiffin University Dragon Radio Network. I'm Russ Snyder, voice of the Dragons, alongside head football coach Gary Goff. Coach, how are we doing today, sir?
Doing great.
Homecoming week, pretty exciting festivities. Makes you a little bit busier than you normally do on a work week like this, but homecoming is always a great time to see all the cool guys come back that used to be on that football team.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. A lot of fun to have some alumni come back, and we have the big Hall of Fame dinner Friday night, which is always a good time. But most important thing for us this week's Wayne State. So
yeah, well, let's preview Wayne State here in a little bit, but first let's talk about Malone, a game the Dragons went on the road and renovated stadium. Used to be Fawcett Stadium, getting renamed now. And weird situation with the visitor sides rubble behind you. One thing we noticed in the broadcast booth was that used to block all that traffic noise. There's all kinds of noise from the traffic. Was it a weird situation being on the sideline like that?
You know, it was a little bizarre, but thank goodness that was to our back, so we weren't staring at that for 4 quarters. I mean, if I'm Malone or Walsh, I might start playing on the visitors' sideline so I can see the stadium rather than that rumble. That was different.
Yeah, absolutely different, but the outcome was nice. A victory, overtime. You know, you'd like to – a little less stressful, get them completed in regulation, but over time, a victory is a victory is a victory.
Yeah, a win's a win. You know, obviously we'll take that any way we get it. But, you know, we did not play our best game. And afterwards I told the team, I was like, you know, as mad as I am at you guys right now, I'm also proud of you because you hung in there, you were tough. You battled and you found a way to win. And a sign of a good program is winning some games that you're not supposed to because you didn't play your best. And that was us Saturday.
I was wondering if you learned a little bit about your kids in that situation where, yeah, you don't play your best football, but you still find a way to win. Maybe a little something different than we saw 3-4 years ago.
Well, yeah, in years past, you just seen a team panic. You know, you just seen us panic and find a way to lose that game. And, you know, I think we've played 6 overtimes in that stadium over the last 5 years. And I don't know what it is about that place. But, you know, hats off to Malone. I tell you what, they are a good football team. They've played some really good opponents early on in the season, but their players play extremely hard. They're pretty good at what they do. They like cutting you down quite a bit. So we're very thankful to get out of there with a victory.
Wasn't that both our first game? Was that a 3 overtime affair up there? That we went there on that Thursday night?
Triple overtime.
Absolutely.
Against Malone.
You're right. So we go up there, and we usually get some free football for the fans, so we go up there. But first quarter, the Dragons got to start off with Antonio Pipkin finding Charles Holland for a 12-yard touchdown pass, and they followed it up in that first quarter as well with a 23-yard Tomislav Derezik field goal, and after one period, he led 9-0.
Yeah, and you know what? That kind of almost set the tone in a bad way for the rest of the game. I really think that we went straight down the field, scored twice. On defense, we got 2 3-and-outs right off the bat, and I think our guys kind of relaxed and thought, well, this will be as easy as the records indicate. And that's just not the case. That's why you play 4 quarters. And when you continue to let somebody stay in the game, you give them hope. You give them an opportunity to really steal a game from you. And that's the way the next 3 quarters kind of shaped up.
So say you had a 9-0 lead at the end of the first quarter, but your score stayed there, didn't get in the scoreboard in the second quarter, and Malone actually took a 14-9 lead into the half.
Yeah, they did a good job. You know, we mentioned last week, you know, offensively and defensively, they do a lot of different things. You know, it's almost like they run 3 different offenses, and on defense, 3 different defenses, you know. So they did a good job of keeping us off balance, you know, and they did not blitz. We really thought that they'd pressure us like they have everybody else, and they didn't. They just sat back.
Well, the second half started with opening drive, a huge touchdown pass. Antonio Pipkin finding our Marco's Pizza MVP of the game, Jalen Santoro, on a 72-yard touchdown pass to get you the lead, and it's something the lead you would carry on for a little while.
Yeah, I'm so happy for Jalen. You know, when we recruited that young man, it was in that stadium at the state championship game, and we knew right then and there he was a tough football player. So it's good to see him have a big game. He's one of those receivers we talked about a week ago that hasn't really – he hadn't played bad, but, you know, everybody else kind of outshined him. So it was good to see him have a good game, and what a nice throw that was by Antonio, and then a good catch, and he kind of went the distance.
Oh, yeah, Matt and I, my broadcast partner, Matt Kibler, and I pretty much almost jumped through the glass window on that play, getting all excited, hooting and hollering. That was really got us going, and Dragons took the lead there, and then 3 more field goals by Tomislav Derezik in regulation, and then you're tied up 24-24 as you're heading to overtime.
Yeah, you know, they had a chance right there at the end of regulation to get some points on the board, and a great play by Stephon Willis, intercepting the ball in the end zone. And, you know, so we were happy to get to overtime right there because we took the lead, and then they went right back down and made some big plays and had a chance there at the end. But, yeah, so here we go again, overtime.
Yep.
You know?
You get into overtime, you get the ball first. Tomislav comes out and gets your team a 36-yard field goal. Now you have a 3-point lead. You know, usually in the overtime you want to be in a situation where Malone is, so that way you know what you have to get on the offensive side. But you mentioned Stephon Willis getting that interception at the end of regulation. Willie did the same thing to finish the game off as well.
Yeah, Malone took a shot right there on the first down, which we kind of expected. They ran a wheel on the sideline out of the backfield, just like they did a year ago. So we kind of knew that might be the case right there. But Jesse Stout did a good job of covering that up and not letting them score right there. And then, the 3 downs later, Stephon Willis comes up with a great interception in the ballgame.
Well, you mentioned you mentioned Stephon Willis. You also mentioned Jesse Stout. Jesse Stout, we thought, played a really good game for your kids as well.
He did.
We said his name a bunch.
He did, and he needs to play a good game for us this week, because, Wayne State's big, strong, and physical, so Jesse's presence needs to be felt.
Stephon Willis, the GLIAC Defensive Player of the Week, and then Tomislav Derezik, again, the Special Teams Player of the Week, and it gets a national honor from D2 football as well.
Yeah, great job by both those guys. But, it's a team sport, obviously. Very, very proud of the entire team. I thought defense played an excellent second half. They came out there and they might have, bent a little bit, but they didn't break. And two big turnovers right there to really, solidify the win.
Well, the Dragons now back home for homecoming. A big stretch of games here. The next 5 games, huge for the Dragons. And it gets started this Saturday against Wayne State. Wayne State probably circled this one maybe on the schedule after last year when the Dragons went there and got that huge road victory. Tell us a little bit about Wayne State.
Well, they didn't lose very much, on offense or defense. Offensively, they've got a freshman quarterback that's come in and won that's starting job.
DJ Zazula, I believe is his name.
Yeah, and he took the job over from Roscoe, and he throws a really good football. He's very accurate, and you can really see on film him getting better with every single snap. So he's a good player. I would not be surprised if they play both of them a little bit. I'm sure they got that ability right there. But so offensively, they're going to run the ball. They're going to run the ball and run it right at you, and they do it very well. They also have incorporated a little bit of the spread with some of the passing and crossing routes that they do. So, we got to do a good job defending them, stopping the run, and making sure we cover up their tight ends. They like to hit their tight ends on some play action and some screens, and they got some good tight ends. So you'll see, and you probably remember from a year ago, they are very, very big and a very physical football team, so we got to be ready. Yeah,
on the defensive side, their linebackers, I remember last year, really like to get after it.
Linebackers might be the best group in the conference.
Okay.
They're really, really good, and they lost one player from a year ago on the defensive side, and it was one of their linebackers, but they replaced him with another, seems like a redshirt senior every year. They're playing in those positions. But, defensively, they are very physical up front. Secondary-wise, they are probably the biggest secondary we'll face all year. Wow. Their team captain is their free safety who directs traffic, gets everybody lined up. I mean, they are a solid football team all the way around. Coach Winters has been there for quite some time.
Yes, he has.
And they're a great coaching staff. And, don't forget just, 4 years ago he took this program to the national championship. So, they're nobody to sneeze at, and I've kind of made jokes all week that I think the Detroit Lions are coming to town. They're as big and strong and might be better.
Well, and they got a player on the Detroit Lions, running back Joik Bell, as a matter of fact, as well. So Wayne State come to town to face the Dragons this week. And, Coach, you look at where you're at right now and kind of give us just a little brief synopsis of how you feel about what you've seen so far for the team and maybe some surprises that maybe you weren't expecting, and see what you have to say.
Well, really excited about the way we're playing. I think we're pretty dynamic on both sides of the ball. We got to continue to execute at the highest level. And, scary thing is for these young men is that, if we continue to improve over the next several weeks, we got a chance to have one of the best, offenses in the country.
Absolutely.
And one of the, best defenses. Defensively, we're playing a lot of guys, but I'm excited to watch those guys play. We're shuffling a lot of guys on the defensive line, with Willie Mays, Kevin LaFell, Vinny Jones, Austin Jasper, all those guys. And then on the back end, if those safeties and corners can continue to play and get better with every snap like we saw last week, then our defense is very dynamic as well. So, our message to them is, we can't be complacent. Nobody respects us, and don't buy into all this talk. Everybody, you guys are so much better. We are, and we appreciate that. But, we got to stay hungry and humble and continue to try to improve with every practice, every snap, every ball game. And if we can do that, we'll worry about where we're at the end of the season and hear everybody's praises at that time. But we haven't done anything yet. I mean, we're about to get into the heart of the conference, and that's where we'll find out if we're really a team to contend with in the GLIAC.
You mentioned your defensive linemen, some of them, and one of them you didn't mention, Jalen Randolph, who seems to be wreaking a lot of havoc and letting those linebackers do their jobs. Even we noticed in the broadcast last week, even in plays where he's not making a stop, he's really being an impactful player. Yeah,
he's kind of one of our secrets, to be honest with you. He's a secret weapon. I mean, he's not you look at him on paper, he's not big, he's not real fast, he's not real strong. but the young man plays extremely hard, and sometimes that's all you need.
Absolutely. The Dragon offense averaging 36 points a game. The Dragon defense rated in the top half of the conference right now, so a lot of work still to be done, and Wayne State coming to town. This should be a huge game, and I'd like to welcome all the former alumni football players who are going to be in town. All the alumni will be in town this weekend to take in the game. As Coach said, we got the banquet on Friday night, the Hall of Fame induction ceremony. Going to be a lot of players in town. It's always a great time to see those players, see them come back, and I'm sure the kids enjoy seeing some of those guys coming back into, and those guys telling the kids, hey, we love what you're doing and keep working it hard.
Oh, without a doubt. It's always a lot of fun to have an alumni come back and talk about the glory years, but at the same time, be excited about watching these young men play. So it should be a lot of fun.
They talk about the glory years. I think the glory years are ahead of us here at Tiffin University is the way I see it from the broadcast booth.
Let's hope so.
Absolutely. Well, Coach, thank you so much for your time. It's always a pleasure getting a chance to talk to you. I know the kids have been working hard. I know the coach has been working hard, and it's going to be a big game this Saturday. Big game, a huge one, as they said. The next month pretty much is the meat of our schedule, really. From here to on the way out is the meat of our schedule. So, as we said, keep working hard, Coach. Give the players our best, and let's go get them on Saturday.
Hey, thank you.
His name's Gary Goff. If you'd like more information on Tiffin University football, go to gotiffindragons.com and click on the football link. I'm Russell Snyder, voice of the Dragons. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Gary Goff Show.